Hi, esteemed viewers. Good to know you are there. Welcome to Compatriots Family and Community Life Reorientation. This program is aimed at rebuilding the broken walls of values in our families and communities. My name is DJ Moody, and with me in the studio today is Dandy Elebila.
Hi viewers.
Dandy is the operation officer of the Loyal Magnificent Compatriots Club of Nigeria. And together, we shall be anchoring this program. Our subject for today is parenting. That is our theme, parenting. And this topic for discussion, our specific topic for discussion is the challenges of raising an only son. The challenges of raising an only son. Raising an only son to become responsible and successful in the society is quite rewarding. However, this task required a deliberate effort by both parents. Why? Because only sons are seriously at a high risk of getting spoiled, especially in this part of our world, where we tend to place high value on sons more than their female counterparts. I know every culture in Africa understood this thing we are talking about. But before we continue with our discussion, we need to know exactly what an only son is, who an only son is. And we want to first let you know that an only son is the only child. Is the only child or a sole apparent or a sole male child among multiple siblings. An only son is the only child or a sole male child among multiple siblings. I just want to ask Mr. Dandy to actually throw more light to it.
Yes,
sir.
Of course, it is really a challenge in our society. We've discovered that these challenges has been with us over time. And I think we all need to put hands together to profile solution for this pressing challenge. Talking about who an only son is.
Yes, sir.
For instance, a family of, let's say, 4. Among 4,
yes, sir,
or 5 or 6, as the case may be, you now have only one male. A family of 4 children, or 5 children, or 6 children, and among these 6, you have only one male.
Good.
or in a scenario where you have a family that God has blessed with only one child, and that child happens to be a male child.
Very good.
Yeah.
Mr. Dandy has actually elaborated the meaning for us to clearly understood our subject for today. This is actually the best place to take off our discussion, having understood who an only son is. Now, we want to let all our viewers understand that we did not choose this topic to cast aspersion on any individual or families. We did that just to simply to provide solutions to some of the challenges we have identified with raising an only son. Recently, we have discovered some challenges associated with only sons. And we've discovered that as a responsible organization, saddled with responsibility of promoting right values for right living, we need to create awareness on these issues so that parents with only sons can learn some tips and be deliberate in taking decisions on raising their only sons. This is what informed this topic. And we hope that at the end of these discussions, someone out there will learn one or two things on how to raise an only son correctly. And our society and families will be better for it. We want to quickly highlight some of challenges, some associated with only sons. So we first let you know that this is a challenge that needs to be addressed. And want to quickly highlight, and I will just ask my colleagues, Mr. Dandy, to just give us some few, and then we'll begin to discuss them together. Yes, sir.
All right. The challenges associated with raising an only child. I think I will just mention two.
Yes.
Basically.
Good.
And permit me to still say these two can still be factor as one.
That is it.
Still as one
That
challenge.
is it.
And one is simply the parent overindulging their only sons.
Good.
Nigeria or African parents that God has blessed with an only son, they tend to overindulge such child.
Yeah.
And number two, in this part of the world, Africa in general, families with only son tend to overpamper the child and fail to discipline such a child. These are the major challenges we have discovered with families raising an only son.
Good. And we want you to know that these challenges we have discovered have a lot of tendency it has a lot of negative impact on the only son that you are raising. In fact, I know that we are talking to at least two categories of only sons parents. There are some that, as they are listening to us now, they have already trained their only son. Their only son is now a man of his own, and there is nothing they could do about him again. And there are second categories that are listening to us now, are those that their only son is still a child, a baby, or still a child in his childhood,
and still at the stage
that they can still
do something
about it. Good. So you see, if you are in the second category of the parents we mentioned, and only some parents we mentioned, you are privileged. Because why? You still have opportunity to do something.
This is the best time to address the issue.
That is it. You know, there is an adage in African parlance that you cannot bend a tree that is already dry. If you want to force it, what will happen to it?
It will get broken.
It will get broken. So the best time to bend a tree
when it is still fresh,
or stick, it is when it's still fresh.
And so, when it's still tender.
When it's still very tender. That is good. So we want you to take what we are discussing very serious. If you are not an only son's parent, or if you have not actually pay attention to this issue, it may seem as if what we are discussing is not a problem. But I want you to know, we, being an organization that saddled with this responsibility of right values, we have paid attention to this issue, and we have discovered that it's actually a challenge. One, just like Mr. Dandy have just said, if you, as a parent, if you overindulge your only son, there is tendency. Now, when we are talking about overindulge, someone may not actually understand what we mean. For instance, yes, sir.
When I mention overindulge,
yes, sir.
When a child needs anything, and at his beck and call, you as a parent, because you want to show that you love your child,
good.
There you go. You provide everything at their demand or at his demand. Sometimes you need to check it.
Good.
Is this thing this child is asking for, is it actually necessary?
Good.
Is it compulsory? Is it a need or a want?
Good.
So, but most times, because of the stress, because of the emotional trauma the parent went through before having such child, they tend to, profess their love by making sure they provide everything the child wants.
Not everything.
So you overdo it. Sometimes, maybe we will throw more light into that as we proceed.
Proceed. Yes. Good. We are talking about overindulgence and only son. Whatever your son says, Daddy, I need this, I want this. You say, please have it. Mommy, I want this. In fact, please have it. One of the effect of this, of indulging a child, or especially an only son, is that he will grow up not knowing that sometimes one need to wait in line to have certain things. Because everything he wants at any time he wants it, he gets it at any time he wants it. He may not know that sometimes one needs to wait to receive certain things. And as a result, one of the negative effects of this, as we have discovered, is that it is very bad to the extent that such a son will grow up with a mentality that will always want to have his way all the time.
All the time.
He will always want to have his way all the time. And you know, as far as society is concerned, one will not have his way all the time. If anybody want to have his way all the time, such a person that want to have his way all the time will become a very
tyrant. Will become a tyrant.
Will become a tyrant. And you know how dangerous that will be. Because we always want to have his way at any time. So let's take note of that. Okay. You mentioned something again about failing to, that most parents, fail to teach their children their only son. Because of the love they have, they fail to teach them how to behave, teach them morality, how to behave. It's one of the challenges associated with raising an only son. What we are saying is that it is so natural. Mr. Dante mentioned something. It is so natural to become emotionally attached to your only son. And we are discussing in the context of, especially in this part of the world, where we have serious value on male child. Sometimes you feel, I can't discipline my son. He is my only son. If I discipline him, I can't bear to see him shed tears. I can't bear to see him, being disciplined. So because of that emotional, attachment, and that failure has great impact even on our only son.
Yes, let me quickly say this.
Yes, sir.
When you overindulge a child,
yes, sir,
in the name of love, what you are indirectly,
yes, sir,
telling such a child is simply that you don't love him. Because you should remember that you will not always be there for that same child.
Yes, sir.
So now that you are there are some morals, there are some values you should teach the child. So most time, of course, it is excellent for a parent to actually, lavish love towards a child. But overdoing it is what is wrong. We need to teach, most especially our only child. In fact, it is the one you love that you should discipline.
I like that.
So when you are now saying, I can't bear him shed tears. Now, is it not better for the child to shed tears when you, the parent, is actually there to help out, to console, than now you can't bear him shed tears. But when you are no longer there, he will not only shed tears, but he will even drink his own tears.
And he will also cause others.
And he will also cause others to shed tears.
That is very painful. One woman, I've listened to one woman, always she said, when they were growing up, they used to say there was a common adage around their side. He said they used to tell them, he said, it is better to hate your child and let him be loved by everybody outside than to love your child and let every other person outside hate him. It's another day that when you overindulge your child, you are indirectly making him an enemy to every other person outside, to the society. Because he will grow up to become an enemy to the society. So overindulgence is not good. Okay. Secondly, we have one of the things we also observe that we've discovered that an only sons, there is tendency for only sons to maltreat or their female counterparts or even their wives.
Child that grow up in that kind of an environment,
yes,
where he has already been overindulged, he has already been spoiled.
Yes.
Such child tends to see their other people around them, including most especially the female counterparts, used to see them as less important. So therefore, they can do anything and get away with it. In fact, when they grow up with that mentality that I can get whatever I want whenever I want it, when they grow up with that mentality and eventually get married, it is such people that maltreat even their wives because they don't see her as anything important. In fact, they bought her with their money.
That is it.
So it is his property. It is his property. Now, not his companion or his property. So they maltreat, they abuse, and this side of the world, these are one of the challenges that we are seriously faced with, and we have to profile a solution for this.
As a parent to an only son, you have to be deliberate about this. Because, especially, you see, when you are talking, I just imagine, because I have witnessed one, a woman with like 3 girls and with only one son. And the kind of love all of them were showering on this son, calling, oh, my heir apparent, my heir apparent. This one. The way they were actually treating him as kings in that family. And he grew up thinking that it seems male children
are special. Special child.
Special, yes. So anytime they talk to him, he will be rude at them. And the parents neglected that. They thought, leave him now. Don't you know he's a king? And it's our... Not knowing that they were actually setting him up to become wife abuser and wife what? Batter tomorrow. When such a person gets married tomorrow, just as you have said, he will see his wife as less important. He will be rude even to his own wife. And he will expect the wife to treat him the way his mother and his father used to treat him. And if the wife failed to treat him that way, she is in trouble. You see, these are the root. So once if you have an only son as a parent, we want you to be deliberate about this.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
There's another challenge with only sons.
Yes.
Most times they lack interpersonal skills. You know, as an only son,
Yeah.
that is already being spoiled by the parent. You know, he goes to school, goes to church. Most times, in fact, most times is usually with his peers. And of course, there is no how leave children with their peers. There is no how there will not be offenses.
Definitely.
But discover that such child that grow up a spoiled child, the mother or father's son, when they get among their peers and issues arise, they lack the skills of resolving their conflicts, because parents always interfere in their personal personal interactions. So a child will go out there, have issue with a friend outside, and the only thing that he thinks of is to run back home and report to you, the parent. And what do? Because it's your so-called loving child, the only son. Then you flare up in anger, you interfere in that situation. You're actually not helping him.
Yes.
Because if he grow up like that, now he will lack the ability.
Yes.
First and foremost, he will lose confidence in himself.
Yes.
And again, he will lack the ability, one, to communicate with his peers.
Yes.
And also to resolve conflict whenever it arises.
And you see, this point you raised is actually very, very important. Why? Because as parents, you know, little things, you have your only child, your only son, a baby, and playing with his peers. And the little things, maybe in the process of playing, he fell down and he cried, "Mommy," and then you ran out. Who pushed my son? Who pushed my son? Who beat him? Asking his colleagues, his peers. And then you started, shouting. What we are saying is that many parents are doing it unknowingly because of the ignorance. Because you felt love. You know, we know that no sincere parents will want to watch his only son shed tears or being hurt emotionally among his peers. But I want you to know that constant interference and overprotection of your son, your only son, will make him grow up without being able to resolve conflict with his friend independently. And that is very bad. That is very bad. You have to ensure that your child learn, resolve conflict on his own.
Yes.
That will help him to learn some basic social skills. And another point I want to actually add to it is that, just as you are saying, that son that you are constantly interfering in his interactions with peers and overprotecting him today, remember you're not going to be there tomorrow for him when he grow up. So it's better you train him in such a way that he will grow up and be independent on his own and know how to resolve conflict by himself.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Remember to drop your comment, and if you are willing, you can as well call in on these phone numbers: 070 34 65 8458. 070 34 65 8458. And you can also reach us offline through this same number, and as well If you want to call us offline, you can also call on 080 36 49 9951. 080 36 49 9951. And please don't forget to like, share this video so that you can help us for the video to reach out to many families that may be facing these peculiar challenges. So we're going to just take one more challenge before we run through the tips. Just like we have said, we're not attacking any family, but we are doing this in order to proffer solutions to some of these challenges. All right. Now, one of the challenges that we have also identified with only sons is that only sons, most times, they lack moral values and they lack moral values. They struggle with moral values and attitude because of the love, the can I call it unconditional love? So they lack moral values. They lack moral values, and they struggle with morals and behaviors. So because of the kind of love that a parent has lavished on them. So these are the challenges, and as an organization, we believe something must be done. And let's get your own opinion. Drop your comments. Let's get your own opinion as to proffer solutions to some of these identified challenges. Yes, sir.
Good. Saying every parent will want to raise his or her son, her only son, to become responsible in the society. And we want to do us few tips that will help us raise our only sons.
Okay, tip number 1. Please, parents, do everything possible to avoid overindulgence. Do everything possible to avoid an only son enjoy all the love and care of the parent alone. As such, he may not know what it is to lose or wait in line for. As parents, you should not get catering to every needs or every want of your only son. If you don't do that, he will develop an attitude of I will get what I want whenever I want it mentality. And if he grow up with that attitude, he will want to have his way all the times. You must, as a parent, keep gifts in check and set limits to what gifts or things your son should get at particular times. And sometimes delay gratification.
Good.
Yes, sir.
You see, it is very, very important as a parent to avoid overindulging your only son. And one or two ways you can do that, as said, is by keeping gifts in check and make sure that there are limits to gifts and things your only son can get in a particular time. For instance, I know of a woman. She has 3 children. Though this one both male and females. And there is something I learned from her. The woman, she's rich. In fact, she has what it takes to lavish whatever kind of love on the child. But this woman was deliberate in raising her children. Now, most times the children will come to her anytime they are actually taking them to school or market, whatever they are. Anytime they go out, if they see anything, they'll say, "Mommy, mommy, we want this. Mommy, we want this." But and her word, her slogan to them always was, "Every day is not Christmas." Every day say, "Mommy, buy this for us." She will say, "Every day is not Christmas." So one day we asked her, "Why are you doing this? We know you cannot, all these things you can." She said, "No, you don't give these children everything they want." She tried to identify, just like we have said before, identify their wants from their needs. It's their needs that she wants to cater for, not their wants. You know, they told us that as human beings, our wants are insatiable, inexhaustible. So, as parents of an only son, need to check the gifts. It's not all the time that your only son, because he's your only son and you has all the money, whatever he said, "Daddy, mommy, you give." Sometimes you deliberately delays gratification. That what we mean is that sometimes you know that he actually needs it, but instead of giving him today, why not tomorrow? You are teaching him to wait, just like we said before, that most times our only sons do not know that sometimes one need to wait in line to receive something.
And most importantly,
yes, sir,
if you don't even learn to wait on man, you may also not be able even to wait on God. So
good.
As parents, we must develop this this habit in our children. This time, all our children. Let them have that mindset that sometimes you don't even get what you want.
Yes.
And sometimes you get it, but not at your own time.
Good.
Sometimes let them have this understanding that sometimes, though you need it or you want it, but you will get it, but maybe not now.
Yes.
Let them grow up with that mentality. Then that may be a way to help even the general society. All right. Good. We'll just quickly go to the second tip. I will allow you to do that, sir.
Okay. The second tip we have is that you should teach and encourage your only son to display empathy to others, especially the female genders. Teach and encourage your only son to show empathy to others, especially your only son, to female genders. Now, why we are saying this is because with the kind of love being showered upon an only sons in this part of the world, it is very easy for them to consider the female genders as less important, just as we have said before.
Less important.
And if this mentality is not properly checked, it will negatively affect his marital relationship. So what we are trying to say is that as parents, you need to encourage your only son to display empathy.
To display empathy and respect.
Respect.
Even to their younger
ones.
Female counterparts.
Yes. You have to teach them. Sometimes, as a father, as a mother, you have to be deliberate, because that's what we say, teach and encourage. If you're going out, sometimes you have to encourage them to involve in charity works, in volunteerism, in charity. You will let them just know that there is need to care for others, because they are always at the point of receiving love. They may not know that it is also important to give out love.
One of the ways you can actually do that, maybe on their birthdays.
Good.
On their birthdays, you could encourage them to want to share love, maybe in a motherless home.
Good.
Or
Good.
in a what do they call
Yes,
it?
orphanage
homes. Or even maybe IDP camps.
Yes.
Just to have the feelings, let them know that every other persons around them are important. Also deserve this care and love. So let them grow up with that mentality. I think that is very important.
Very important, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's go to the
number. I will just take the third tips. Tip number 3. Please, parent, give your only son or your only sons home chores.
Yes.
In order to teach him responsibility. Give your sons or your only sons the home chores.
Yes.
In order to teach them responsibility. I know in most cultures, in Nigeria especially, home chores are considered to be females' roles. And boys are often exempted from such duties. In case of an only son, most people treat them as kings. It ought not to be so.
That is the truth.
Your only son must be required to do chores such as laundry or dry cleaning, washing the dishes, clean the house and the surrounding, and so many other chores.
Yes.
It will help him learn responsibilities. That will help him learn responsibility and other practical skills.
Yes.
And grow to be independent. He will then grow to become independent. If possible, let him learn how to cook.
That is it.
If possible, let him learn how to cook. He will live to thank you for teaching him or for engaging him in all of that. Yes, sir. What can you say about that, sir?
In fact, it's very important, we are discussing on African perspective. Especially, we know that most times they say our kitchen's duty is actually reserved for females. That is not so, especially in present society. Things are changing. Things are evolving. Things are evolving. And now you won't marry a wife, you will not grow up, marry a wife, and you expect her to do everything. Say, it's your duty. That is, things are evolving. So it's important, especially your only son, teach him home chores. Let him learn those things. It will help him, especially when you are not there.
And sir, another thing that actually comes to my mind.
Yes, sir.
I think if, as a man, male sons will grow up to be men.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So if as a man, you truly do not know how to cook, as a man, you are married, and you truly do not know how to cook, I think that is a big challenge even in our homes.
It's true.
Because let's say, for instance, your wife is down, and maybe she has been the one doing almost everything. And let's say, for instance, or she's not available at the moment, then you become vulnerable.
That is the truth.
If you don't know how to cook at all,
that is the truth.
All you do, you sit down, you cross your leg, watch the television.
Yes.
The food is ready on the dining table. And each time the woman is not available, then you become vulnerable. Because the only thing that comes to your head then is to find somewhere else to eat. And when you go out today, you go out tomorrow, you go out next tomorrow. When it becomes too much, you become vulnerable. You know how society, anything can happen. So we ought not to give room for all that. So I think it is even a matter of seriousness.
That's the truth.
We must, as parents, we can't afford to, exempt our male child from the kitchen.
That's the truth.
You may not be doing them any good. It is good. Even if he get married and he will not cook, let it be that he will not cook, not that he cannot cook.
Yes, sir. That's good. That's
all right.
That's great.
I hope we are paying attention to all of that. So
yes, number 4.
Number 4, yes, sir.
Number 4, you have to allow your son, your only son, to resolve his own peer conflicts. Allow him to resolve his own peer conflicts if you want him to grow and become independent tomorrow. Just like we have said, no responsible parents will actually want to see his only son experience any emotional hurt, among his peers. Though this is highly commendable, many parents have become victims by overprotecting and constantly interfering on their only sons, by overprotecting their only sons, and constantly want to interfere in all his peer interactions. Now, just as we are saying, such overprotection and interference will make your child lack the ability, will grow up lack the ability to relate with his peers and resolve his own conflict by himself. As parents, you must develop self-confidence. That's the truth. Self-esteem. You need to let him learn how to resolve his own conflict wherever possible, except where there is likelihood of physical harm. Then you can actually intervene and say, please, you people should play this way, do it this way. By so doing, you are helping the child to grow up to handle his challenges or conflicts with minimal parental interference. You will grow up know that I can handle this.
Yes.
I must not wait for my father or my mother to come and defend me, or come and, I can handle this. And I know that as a parent, if you do that, you'll be proud of your son tomorrow. Remember, you will not always be there for him. Yeah. So train him that way.
Yeah, let me just quickly share an experience.
Yes, sir.
Some years back, when my son was still very, very young.
Yeah.
In fact, then there is always this complaint.
Yes.
He will come home from school.
Yeah.
And whatever happened in school, you have to tell the mother, and the mother will like, do that. In fact, most times my wife will even go to the school. And now when I discovered the way the whole thing was going, I had to sit her down and say, come, See, if you continue like this, you may not be helping this child. He will just believe that nobody can do anything. I have a mother.
At home.
And as such, you will really not help him to manage, to be able to learn how to manage his peers, how to manage, how to interact, and resolve whatever conflict among his peers. So when I talk like that, I also sat him down and told, see, come, if your teacher beat you in school, of course your teacher is not a madman.
That is it.
There must be something you have done. So the only thing you should think about is think inward and remember what you did wrong that warrants your teacher to flog you. You don't have to come home and tell your mommy. Mind you, there is nothing your mommy can do about that. In fact, I paid your school fee, not just for them to teach you math and English, so also teach you moral. So when you do something wrong, definitely you receive a lash.
I like that.
Is your mommy not beating you anytime you earn? So if your mommy can beat you when you do something wrong, so consider every other person around you. When you do something wrong, they can as well caution you. So you don't have to. And believe you me, right now, he's better for it.
I like that.
He's better for it. I can't remember him coming home now with any of such complaint. And in fact, these days, it's the mother that is complaining now. Sometimes he will call me and say, hey, one is your son who is going out with his friend to play football. And I will ask, what do you expect of a child of such age? So what we are saying is simply that now you need to allow your children, you need to teach your children on how to develop their self-esteem and be confident in themselves. And also grow this ability of resolving conflict among their peers. Okay. All right. Like we have said, please remember to drop your comment and also share this video and let it go viral. So I will just take the last tip now. I'll just take the last tip, number 5. And that says, please parents, especially parents of only sons, please discipline your only son. And this also goes to parents in general. Please discipline your children. Please discipline your children. So parents of only sons, please discipline your only son. Now, love does not exempt your only son from being disciplined. You love your only son do not mean that he should not be disciplined.
That is it.
In fact, it is the one you love you discipline most.
That's the truth.
Nobody will ever want what he or she cherished so dearly to be spoiled.
That's the truth.
Nobody will want what he loves so much to get spoiled. So make sure you discipline your only son, and that will help him to improve morally and be better for it. As a parent, one of your duty is to teach your only son good morals. To teach your only son good morals. The training you're supposed to teach all the sons that you have aspired to have. The training you will have teach all the sons you have aspired to have. Since it is only one that God has blessed you with, please teach him those teachings.
That is it.
Give him those trainings. Give him those trainings. You can't afford to let your only son gets spoiled because that is the only option you have.
That is the truth. In fact, the issue of the training you have mentioned now is very, very important. You see, sometimes humanly, we thought it is the one you love that you should pamper, not knowing that in the real sense, it is the one you love that you should spank and discipline. Why? Because as far as a child is concerned, what makes a child actually grow up to become a responsible and well-behaved and even loved by others in the society is not the love. It's not just the love you show him. It's not the pampering.
Not the gifts.
Not the gifts. It's the discipline. You see, like some of us who also believe in the Bible, it says the one that God loves most is the one he chastises, he disciplines. In fact, they took us to, even in agriculture, you know, we have what we call pruning. Pruning, when you're pruning, in fact, even horticulture, that is, we have in the field of agriculture called horticulture that deal with flower and the rest. Well, what we call pruning. Pruning, you know, they said is whenever you see a flower or a tree is becoming too overburdened or somehow, and you desire to see it do better, you trim it. You trim it off. But so do it, you know,
when it's overspreading.
It's oversprayed. It's overspreading, and you want it, you know, both in shape and even in product. You trim it. And this process of trimming or this pruning, you know, is not easy. It's not easy. Because when you have to cut off some part. And
you have to harm
the
tree for it to get better.
The same thing is applicable to human beings. And
the same analogy also goes to, you know, this popular adage that gold is useless if it is not refined.
That is the truth.
And you know the process of refining gold takes, it has to pass through fire. It has to pass through fire. So if the fire, the chastisement that our only son needed is now being overwhelmed by the love we claim to lavish on them, then it may not be possible to have him become a responsible son in the nearest future.
That is it.
Because, of course, it is a popular saying that nothing good comes so easy. Nothing good comes easy. Now, come to think of it.
Yes, sir.
If you ask me, I will actually say for the parents that actually indulge their child, it's wickedness.
It's true.
Because check those parents very well. Do their own parents, do their own father and mother indulge them? Is that how they were being raised?
Most of them.
If you check it, the answer is no.
It's true.
You know, a parent will now come up to say, waiting I suffer, what I suffered, my child will never. Now you have forgotten that it is what you suffer that made you who you are today.
That is the truth.
Now, sir, there's something I will always remember, and I will always love my dad for that.
Good.
Maybe that made me who I am today. My dad will not always flog you, will not always beat you. He don't always beat. It is my mom. When you do a little thing, you will receive a backhand slap. When you are close to my mom, if you do anyhow, fear. She's very quick in doing that. But my dad will not beat you. But you will not pray he beat you one day. Some of the teachings, in fact, there was a day my dad disciplined me. And anywhere I go, I remember that day. And now that I'm grown up, if I look back and remember how that discipline, that action that day that my dad took on me, how it has helped me. He's dead now, but I still remain grateful to him. So what are we saying? See, when you spare the rod, in this part of the world, we have not only spared the rod, but we have even thrown the rod away. Now, we have left the child to do what? To spoil and rotten.
My God.
And that is one of the challenges our society is faced with. Remember, the character and values that our families uphold determines the peace and development of every society.
That is it.
So are you raising a beast in your home in the name of love? Or are you raising a responsible child that will love everyone within the society and be loved by all?
Now, before we actually come to conclusion, I have discovered, we're talking about raising an only son. One of the challenges I have come to realize is that there must be deliberate agreement, on the side of both the mother and the father. Because some of the stories I've heard about some only sons is that it's either the mother or the father has overindulged them. And then I want you to say something about it. Who to be blamed, or any party, or just how can two parents, both the mother and father,
I will just take this in the next 1 minute because our time is fast spent. We have less than 1 minute to go. But let me quickly say this. Now, talking about who to be blamed, who to be held responsible, you mean to say?
Yes.
Both parents are to be held responsible. In fact, as a matter of fact, God gave us these children, and one day we will both account on how we raise these children.
Yes, sir.
Each time we talked about discipline a child, it has to be from both sides.
Yes, sir.
The father cannot be saying this is not good and the mother is encouraging it. Vice versa.
Yes.
So if the father is saying this is not good, then it must be the same song the mother is singing. Both must be on the same page.
Yes, sir.
That is how the child can be convinced and not be confused that action is actually good or bad. So we must both be on the same page.
Good. So it's the responsibility of both parties. Be deliberate about it. Good. So
all right, thank you for staying with us.
Oh, yes.
And we'll be calling it a quit or a close for today. And we'll be glad to have you join us 2 o'clock next Monday as we look at another important topic. Please remember to like, share, and drop your comments at the comment section.
Yes.
And please let this video reach other families around the world. Now, offline, we are also open to receive your calls, and you can call us on the following numbers: 070 3465 8458 and 080 3649 9951. I will just quickly take the number again: 070 3465 8458. And the second one is 080 3649 9951. Always remember that it is the character and the value upheld by families that determine the peace, unity, and progress of any society. So we leave you with this word until we see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.